Imagine this. It's midnight in Babylon. The air is heavy. Torches flicker against the walls of the royal courtyard. Soldiers march in silence, their armor clinking softly. And in the middle of them, an old man, unafraid, walking with the dignity of a king, even though he is on his way to what should be his execution. The ground rumbles. Somewhere in the darkness, a low, deep roar. Hungry lions pace in circles, their eyes glowing like fire in the shadows. Every soldier knows, no one survives the lion's den. No one, and yet, this man Daniel does not tremble. What could give someone such peace in the face of certain death? And what happened next would shake a kingdom to its core. Welcome to Bible Breakdown, the place where we dig deep into the stories you've heard before and reveal the details, the mysteries, and the powerful truths you may have missed. If you love understanding God's Word in a way that changes you forever, hit subscribe, because today we're stepping into the lion's den. 1. Why Daniel was thrown in. Let's rewind the scene. Daniel is no criminal. He's not a rebel. In fact, he's the most trusted advisor to King Darius, a man of integrity, a man of wisdom, a man who served faithfully for decades under multiple kings, Babylonian and Persian alike. But there's one thing Daniel would never do: compromise his devotion to God. The other royal officials hated this. They couldn't find a single fault in his work, so they decided to trap him with his faith. They convinced King Darius to sign a law. For 30 days, no one could pray to any god or man except the king. Breaking it meant one thing: death in the lion's den. Daniel heard the law and went straight home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed just like he always did. He didn't hide it, he didn't water it down, he didn't compromise, and the moment he did, the trap was sprung. The officials ran to the king. The law was irreversible, the sentence was set. 2. God shuts the lions' mouths. Picture this: Daniel is lowered into a pit carved deep into the ground. The smell of raw animal breath fills the air. The growls are deafening. Then the stone is rolled over the entrance. Darkness swallows him whole. But the moment those lions approach, something supernatural happens. The God Daniel had prayed to, the same God who formed those lions, sends an angel. And suddenly, silence. The great predators lay down. They do not harm him. They cannot harm him, because the Creator has spoken. Daniel spends the night in the den, but it might as well have been a peaceful sleep. He is safer in the lion's den with God than in the palace without him. 3. Why the lions' mouths were opened again. Morning breaks. The king rushes to the den and shouts, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to save you?" And then, the impossible Daniel's voice answers back, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions." The king is overjoyed. Daniel is lifted out without a single scratch. But the story doesn't end there. Justice is about to speak. The very men who plotted against Daniel, the ones who thought they could destroy a man of God, are brought before the pit, and this time, there is no angel to stop the lions. The stone is rolled away, and before their bodies even touch the floor, the lions overpower them. Why? Because God is not mocked. What he protects completely. What he judges fully. This was a public sign, not just of God's power to save, but of his power to bring justice. 4. The message for us today. Daniel's story isn't just about lions. It's about loyalty. It's about choosing faith over fear, even when the cost is high. It's about a God who is not limited by natural laws, a God who can shut the mouth of your greatest enemy until his work in you is done. Sometimes God will let you be lowered into a den, a place where, in the natural, there's no way out. But if you remain faithful, he will not only preserve you, he will use your deliverance as a testimony to everyone watching. Daniel didn't survive because he was lucky. He survived because he belonged to the living God, and that same God still reigns today. If this story stirred your faith, share it with someone who feels trapped in their own lion's den right now. And remember, sometimes God will let the lions roar, just so he can prove he's the one who makes them silent. This is Bible Breakdown, where God's Word comes alive. Until next time, keep your windows open and your faith unshaken.